Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Third lecture, patient expectation. Every patient who is seeking for aesthetic improvement of his smile will expect to have a change like those in the picture. We have to understand that all patients are different. They differ according to the race, the gender, the age, social status, education, occupation, ethnic beliefs, and expectations. How to understand patient expectation? Simply through questionnaires. This will solve the conflicts that may rise from difference between. The patients are non-professionals, so they have a non-professional understanding of the procedures. On the contrary, they have high expectation and sometimes illogical. On the other hand, the operator for marketing his projects may raise very high hopes for the patient, so these high hopes will not fulfill or will be fulfilled by the end results of the restorations. How to overcome the patient expectations to make it to the ground and to the actual condition. You have to elaborate or explain or identify to the patient where is his problem lying. Okay, these questionnaire will be concerned by the lips of the patient, the gums, and the teeth. Whether the patient believes that they have narrow lips or wide lips, hide their teeth, or show their teeth more than they should. On the other hand, whether they are too red and swollen or they are receding from the naked teeth. For the teeth, you can ask the patient, do you feel that your teeth are too long, too short, too wide, too narrow, too square, too rounded, too small, wrong shapes, or wrong position, or there are spaces in them? And finally, you have to ask the patient for what he is really in need for. Either he will expect a Hollywood perfect smile or a natural smile, or he just wants to improve his smile in terms of color position. And finally, to get the most important concern of the patient, you can ask him, if we could alter your smile, what would you like most to change? Okay, this will be the main concern of the patient. Okay, you can elaborate and explain to the patient by using models, casts, photographs for the before and after similar cases, videos, and computer video imaging. Computer video imaging is now essential in every clinic, and you can observe in this photo that here the patient is sharing with his dentist in the final or the treatment planning, and this is very useful because here the mental image of the final product of the restoration is now explained, and there is a physical sensation by the patient to what he will have at the end of the treatment. Computerized video imaging provides a preoperative documentation of the condition, which is very important, especially in the aesthetic restoration. Okay, it will be very informing and educating for the patient, as this will approach the different mental image of the patient, dentist, and laboratory. Okay? Also, it will provide a solution for the simulation and treatment alternatives. Okay, and it will document what you offer to the patient and what he has agreed to perform on his teeth. The treatment plan can be discussed, accepted or modified, approved, and finally printed in hard copy and signed by the patient and included in the form consent. Okay. Also, computer video imaging provide post-operative results immediate after the treatment. Okay, and it documents what you have offered the patient at the end of the treatment, and you can use it for follow-up after a while, so you can reflect the post-operative condition of your restoration and what you need for the post-operative service for the patient. Okay. Finally, the computer video imaging will provide you with a comparative facility to compare between the different material that you use during your treatments, the different techniques you applied during the treatments for different restoration, and the local differential conditions of the patient and how it differs from a patient to the other. Okay, this will provide you you can include in the computer video imaging in the thorough examination and investigation, and you can include the aesthetical hierarchy of the macro, mini, and macro aesthetics, and it will help you in finding a diagnosis and to apply treatment planning. The treatment plan must respect the priorities, the choices, the alternatives, and must include the patient agreement and scheduling and the form consent and the authorization of the operator or dentist to apply the work. The aesthetic hierarchy. Aesthetic hierarchy, as we said, is macro aesthetic for the face, mini aesthetic for the smile framework, and the micro aesthetic for the teeth and the jaw. Okay. The beauty of the face, comprised by many things: the micro aesthetics, mini aesthetics, and macro aesthetic concerning the lip art, teeth art, smile art, the teeth concerning the shape and the shade, the gingiva the showing of the gingiva, the lens points, and the triangles, and health, color, and pigmentation, black triangles, and interdental papillary lines. Concerning the shape of the teeth, the shape and the harmony of the teeth must be confirmed to what we call the proportion, and here we will discuss the most famous and the most ancient one of the proportion, which is the golden proportion. The golden proportion is, if we consider the line, this line, A plus B, okay, and we will divide this line into two unequal portions, A, which is not equal to B. So the golden proportion will lie at the point, okay, where the relation of A plus B to A is equal to the proportion of A to B. I know it's a little bit confusing, but you can understand that the total, which is A plus B over the bigger segment, A, is in the same proportion that A has to B. Okay? This proportion is called phi. It was used and discovered by the pharaohs, and it was used in the construction of the pyramids. It also used in the Greek temples. Okay, here the relation is very obvious. Architecturally, all the great or lovely or beautiful buildings that we see, okay, are respecting the golden proportion. The United States building is respecting, including the golden proportion. The fashion here is also according to golden proportion. The credit cards dimension are according to the proportion. The famous Mercedes-Benz is respecting the golden proportion. Aston Martin case of James Bond, all designed according to the golden proportion. The famous paintings and statues are also done according to golden proportion. Even in the human body, the golden proportion relation is highly respected and existing in the face, hands, ears, the different components of the body. Like you see in this figure, the digits of the face, the eyes distance and the intercancer's distance are respecting the golden proportion. And Dr. Stephen Market have designed a face that expands and contracts according or keeping the same proportion of the different parts of the face, and can be used for measuring or assessing the beauty and the harmony of the different proportion of the face component. Okay, here you can see used for different type of beauties from different races, and still it's functioning. And here different types of beauty, and still it is conforming to the proportional face mask. Also here. Okay, and finally, okay, most ladies have two faces, one face to sleep in and the other to show company. The first is generally reserved for the husband and family at home, and the other put on to please strangers abroad. This quote is from The Citizen of the World, 1760, Oliver Goldsmith.